The hum of the starship's engine was steady, almost hypnotic, as I drifted through the outer edges of the Vespera sector. Space had a way of amplifying silence, the kind that makes you notice every minor sound inside the cockpit, every click and hiss of machinery. Most humans might have found the isolation terrifying, but I had grown used to it. The quiet was comforting. I was alone, or so I thought. The encounter. It began with a faint energy signature picked up on my sensors. Nothing like the typical anomalies I'd studied for years. No rogue satellites, no natural phenomena. This was deliberate, precise, and almost intelligent. Curiosity outweighed caution, and I adjusted course to investigate. Through the swirling violet gases of a nearby nebula, I saw it, a sleek, pearlescent vessel that seemed alive, flowing as if it were made of liquid light. Before I could react, a calm, melodious voice echoed in my cockpit. "Identify yourself," it said. I blinked. "Captain Arin Velas, Starship Nomad." "Who am I speaking with?" A pause, then. "I am Princess Kaelara of the Illyrian Dominion." Intrigued me. The Illyrians were legendary, rumored to possess both technology and psychic abilities beyond human comprehension. Seeing one, especially royalty, was almost unheard of. Then came her approach. Her ship closed in without any warning, drawing alongside mine with a grace that defied physics. It was then that she asked almost shyly, "Why are you so quiet?" Her question caught me off guard. Silence was my nature, a tool I had honed over years of navigating empty space. I usually let actions speak louder than words, and I never felt compelled to explain myself. I observe," I replied, my voice steady but neutral. She tilted her head, a gesture both curious and alien. Observing but not reacting? Not expressing? I didn't answer immediately. Words seemed insufficient. She expected an explanation she probably wouldn't understand, a human approach to silence that didn't translate across species. "Humans are quiet sometimes because we listen," I finally said. "Because we think. Because sometimes the universe speaks louder than words ever could." Her luminous eyes widened. For a moment, the air around her vessel seemed to shimmer, as if my words had resonance far beyond sound. That is remarkable," she whispered. "I never imagined such patience in your kind." It was then I realized that my quiet nature, something ordinary to me, had shocked a princess of a civilization that valued openness, expression, and control of energy. The connection. For hours, we drifted side by side, communicating not just through speech, but through subtle energy signals. Kaelara's ship emitted gentle pulses in response to my thoughts, a kind of dialogue that transcended language. She shared stories of Illyrian culture, of cities built on floating energy platforms, of citizens capable of sensing emotion and intent, and of the strict expectations placed upon her as a princess. And I shared mine, the solitude of human exploration, the thrill of discovery, and the quiet moments where the universe itself felt like a companion. "You see the world differently," Kaelara observed. "Your silence, it isn't emptiness. It's awareness. Humans are underestimated." I smiled, something rare for me, because she understood something few ever could. And yet, it's taken the presence of an alien princess to make you see it. Her laugh was melodic, vibrating in the air like a delicate energy field. It was the first time I noticed that she, too, could be surprised, vulnerable even, in ways her civilization considered improper. The incident, our calm drift through the nebula, was interrupted when a rogue microsingularity suddenly appeared, destabilizing the local space-time fabric. Both of our ships were thrown off course, the force pressing me against my seat. "Hold steady," I shouted. Kaelara's voice echoed in my mind simultaneously, guiding me through maneuvers that felt impossible. It was then I realized her proximity had a stabilizing effect on my own reflexes. Her energy, her presence, had somehow synced with me. Once we stabilized, she looked at me, her expression a mixture of awe and curiosity. "You didn't panic," she said softly. "Most would have reacted instinctively, emotionally, yet you remained calm." "Silence," I said simply. "It lets me think." She tilted her head, clearly fascinated. "And your thinking is shocking." Her words made me chuckle. A human laugh, quiet but genuine, something she seemed to savor. She was learning something human in the most fundamental way, the strength behind quiet determination. The revelation. As the nebula cleared, Kaelara's voice became hesitant. I don't understand," she admitted. "Why do you choose silence, even when it might seem weak or cold? Humans speak so little, yet you influence so much." I paused, considering. Because words are limited. Actions, observation, patience, these are universal. Silence allows me to see what others miss. Her eyes glimmered with understanding. "You are exceptional, not because of power or technology, but because of essence." That word, essence, wasn't typically used in Illyrian discourse. It implied a depth beyond the physical or intellectual. And in that moment, I realized our meeting wasn't a chance encounter. Something in the universe, perhaps even the strings of destiny itself, had brought us together so she could see the strength humans often hid behind quiet. The journey together. For the next several days, we explored the uncharted sectors together. Kaelara taught me to manipulate energy fields to repair starship systems, while I taught her the patience of observation, the human approach to solving problems by listening to the universe instead of rushing in. Our interactions were subtle, but profound. I didn't need to explain every thought or feeling. She seemed to understand intuitively, her emotions resonating with mine in ways words could not describe. One evening, drifting near a pulsar, she asked again, softly, almost shyly, "Why do you allow me to see so much of you?" I looked at her, the light of distant stars reflecting in her eyes. "Because you asked the right question," I said. "And you were brave enough to approach when most would have turned away." Her hand, ethereal, almost translucent, rested on the console, and I felt an energy pulse that made my heart race. The quiet between us was no longer empty. It was alive, full of understanding, connection, and the unspoken bond that grew stronger every moment. The challenge. But the universe has a way of testing bonds. Word came from Illyrian authorities. A rogue fleet had detected anomalies in the nebula, and any deviation from protocol could endanger the princess's life, and mine. "You may have taught me something invaluable," she said, eyes glimmering. "But I must return. My people cannot forgive my distractions." I understood the weight of duty. Yet I also knew that connection like ours was rare, perhaps impossible to replicate. "Then let's make the most of the time we have," I said. "Even if it's brief, it's ours." For the next hours, we charted a course through dangerous sectors, sharing stories, laughter, and subtle lessons about humanity and Illyrian ways. Each moment was fleeting, yet it felt eternal. The decision. When the rogue fleet finally arrived, Kaelara made a choice that surprised even herself. She disabled her ship's cloaking and confronted the fleet openly, using her influence to declare our meeting authorized under emergency exploration protocols. "You've changed me," she whispered over comms, her voice trembling but strong. "Human quietness, your essence, it has made me brave in ways I never thought possible." Her boldness ensured our safety. For the first time, She had acted entirely out of conviction rather than duty. The resolution. After the fleet dispersed, we drifted in silence. She looked at me, her vast, luminous eyes reflecting distant stars. Your quiet, it is not just silence. It is power. And I am grateful. I smiled. And I'm grateful you asked the question. The nebula stretched before us, endless and mysterious, but for the first time, it felt navigable, not just with star charts and technology, but with trust, understanding, and a bond that defied species, culture, and expectation. Kaelara finally spoke one last time before departing to her dominion. Humans, you have something extraordinary. Never forget it. I watched her ship vanish into the stars, the silence around me no longer empty, but charged with meaning. And in that quiet, I understood something fundamental. Sometimes, the strongest answers are the ones you don't speak aloud, but live.